He has a triple crown in acting, an Oscar, an Emmy, and a Tony. He is known for bringing gravitas and complexity to every role he undertakes, whether in The French Lieutenant's Woman, Elizabeth I, The Real Thing, Reversal of Fortune, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Lolita, Appaloosa, or as the voice of Scar in The Lion King. And now, Jeremy Irons steps into yet another powerful role as former attorney and human rights lawyer Julian Miles in Rizana, A Caged Bird. Working with acclaimed Sri Lankan director Chandran Ratnam in this film produced by Jagat Sumutipala and Sumati Studios, Jeremy lends his voice and presence to a story that shook the world. Jeremy Irons gave this exclusive video interview to Kaleidoscope this week to talk about justice, storytelling, and why this film resonates far beyond the screen. What compelled you to lend your voice and your presence to a story so far from home, yet so universally human?
Those are the reasons. It's so far from home. It's lovely to come to Sri Lanka. I've been here before. It's a story which needs to be told. Not only Sri Lankan men and women who work abroad with no rights, no legal rights, but also Indian and from many countries working in other countries had this problem. And I thought that's an important story to tell.
What was the experience of working with a Sri Lankan director, Sri Lankan producer in Sri Lanka about a Sri Lankan story?
Well, he's a very experienced director, very experienced man of film. And his son is editor and writer, and between the two of them, they've got a wonderful script together. There is a lot of enthusiasm for the story amongst the crew and amongst everybody who's working in the film. And enthusiasm is a wonderful thing to have. And filming anywhere in the world is all, a film crew is a film crew.
You portray complex characters in morally charged stories in sometimes. How did engaging with Rizana's real-life tragedy shape your understanding of accountability, of empathy, and the power of cinema to challenge silence?
I know about the power of cinema, or the story it well tells. I knew about Rizana's story. I remember it was in the Quest 20 years ago. And I think if we can, film can't often help change things, but sometimes to raise the part of the process, raising people's awareness for injustice, I think is an important thing we do.
So you played everything from aristocrats to outcasts. Which role, if any, forced you to confront something deeply personal about yourself?
I suppose mission, probably, because I'm not particularly religious either. I think I'm quite spiritual, but the mission taught me a lot about my story. But in a way, it's difficult. I don't think in those terms. But, playing a part is like smoking a cigar in a room. The smell of that cigar stays with you, and the smell of a part that you played stays inside you. So in a way, each character I played has opened me out a little more and made me a little more aware of myself.
And you ride horses in your downtime. How do these personal passions actually shape the way you inhabit your characters?
I'm a great believer in grasping life, in seeing opportunities, in living. We only live once, and I'm lucky enough to travel so much my work, so I can see where life is really good and where it's not so good. I'm been able to choose where I live. I live a lot in Ireland, and a lot in England, and I've always enjoyed riding horses since I was a child, and sailing boats. As I get older, I'm more interested in making gardens and refurbishing buildings. I enjoy all of that, creating environments in much the same way that I enjoy creating characters.
If you could have dinner with one of the characters you played, who would that be, and what would you converse about?
I think I'd probably try that kind of dinner with the Earl of Leicester, who was the lover of music at first. I made a film like that with Helen Mirren, and it'd be interesting talking to him about how he thought his life at that time. And I'm interested in history. I'm interested in how things were so different. Although I don't think we were different. I think things were so different in the past.
What does success look like to now compared to when you started off as a struggling actor in the 70s?
I just wanted to be a jobbing actor. I never thought I'd become well known. Success, I think, is the joy of people appreciating your work, appreciating your efforts, and that's enormous joy. And feeling that the world is a global village. You know, I each country I go to, people know me from my films, and it's a bit like living in a village.
You've spoken about the power of silence in acting. What's the loudest silence you have experienced?
I think loudest silence is probably on stage, because when you're filming, everyone's told to be silent. And moments are often created by the editor and cutter. In the theatre, you control the audience to a certain extent. And when they are completely wrapped and completely held, that I think is the loudest silence.
Do you think actors today have a responsibility to speak out, or is silence sometimes no power?
Actors can help because some of them are well known, they can sometimes help issues which need to be addressed, but where the people who are trying to get things changed don't have the wherewithal to get their message out there. And I think actors can sometimes help with that.
So you move from blockbuster cinema to very intimate stage work. How do you calibrate your craft between the spectacle and the soul of that performance?
Well, I hope there's always a soul, not just spectacle. And in my view, however much spectacle there is, if there's no soul, there's no show. Then people talk about AI and huge special effects. Yes, they're exciting for an audience, and they touch certain parts of your emotion. But the way we really touch each other is through a soul.
You spoke of AI, rapid changes that have been happening in the world, or, well, everything really. Short attention spans also. What do you think is the role of slow, reflective storytelling, the kind that just lingers with you?
It's more powerful. It stays with you. We are encouraged by impeti all the time. People trying to get our attention, take our money, make themselves wealthy at our expense. But I think what changes us as people is looking at other people, into other people's eyes, listening to you. When I say acting is often about silence, it's also a lot about listening, and seeing what you're hearing, how that affects you, and then that's how you react. So, in my view, the world has become too noisy, too fast. But that's probably because I'm older now. I think young people like all that excitement. But for me, it's shallow. And wisdom, I think, is being able to sit quietly and listen to something being told. But movies can sometimes do that.
Kaleidoscope is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Remember to subscribe, follow, and like us for more.